Now look at your topic number 9. Now this is a very hard topic, yeah. So you better concentrate, okay. Especially the business students, please. Okay, if you focus. Now, portfolio theory. You haven't learned yet. Calculation a bit long. Okay, so focus. Now, what is this portfolio theory? Let's go through here. Now, what they say? A portfolio is a collection of investment. They make up an investor total holding. A portfolio can, in a theory, consist of any kind of investment. Okay, highlight that part. Any kind of investment. But in this example, in this exercise, later we will do it for share. Investment in shares. But this formula or this topic can be used for any investment. But normally portfolio will be used for forex, shares. Okay, majority will be used for that kind of investment because that kind of investment is high what risk. So they will try to use this formula to reduce the risk. Portfolio. Okay. But for simplicity's sake, it is usually assumed that it consists entirely of code of what? Shares. Okay, so you use shares. The shares is very high risk also. Consider it's very high risk because share price movement. Can you predict share price movement? No, we can't. Okay, so it's very high risk. So they normally will use this formula to determine what will be the risk and the return for the share investment. So over here, what they say, portfolio theory, according to Harry Makowitz, it's concerned with how risk involved with investing only one type of investment can be reduced through diversification. Okay, let's stop over there. Can I ask one question? What is diversification? Anyone? Come again? Yes, very good. Invest in many other what? Businesses, in other words, or investment. Rather than you invest in one project, you invest in what? A, B, C, D. Yeah, variety of investment. Yeah, you split it off. You have 10,000 in your pocket right now. Rather than you invest your 10,000 in project A alone, that is high risk, right? If anything happens to the project A, what happens? Gone like 10,000, right? So what do? You split the 10,000 and invest in what? A, B, C, D, for example. So that will reduce the risk. We assume that will reduce the risk. How? Maybe project A, B lost, C and D might be what? Still profit. So we can get back the money through C and D. Okay? So we got a chance. Continue. The theory of risk reduction through diversification applies to both private investors as well for companies. Okay. Now this formula is not only for company. You also can use it. Like forex players. Okay. You can use this formula if you know how to use it. Okay. But definitely we're not going to do it manually later on. There is a financial calculator. You just put it in the data. It will calculate for you what will be the return and the risk. Okay. Now next, return can be defined as the financial gain that can be obtained by making investment. Yes. So how many percent is your return when you make an investment? Risk is the possibility that actual return will be different from expected return. Yes, we expect 10%, but do you will get 10%? No. Okay, it might be different when there is actual. Okay, actual result will be different. Maybe you're getting lesser, or maybe you might getting what? More. If you get more, then you're happy. If you get lesser, definitely loss for us. Now look at that. It is usually measured as a variance of the outcome or the square root of the variance. Now if you still remember, we have learned this in the stats before. Okay, variance. Remember standard deviation? Yes. Statistics. Business students QM. Remember standard deviation? Okay, you better recall it. Okay, now standard deviation. The standard deviation gives a measure of dispersion of the probability distribution. The higher the standard deviation, the greater the dispersion, hence the risk. So I got told you this before. We will calculate the mean and what? Standard deviation, am I right? I told you that is the basic. It's only for one investment. Now we're going to use in the portfolio again, but in a different way. Okay, so the mean will be the return. Remember I told you mean will be the passing rate or return. Last time we will calculate mean. Example, you calculate marks. mean will be the passing rate, standard deviation will be the failing rate. Remember the same thing here. So the mean will be the what? The return here. Okay, the standard deviation will be the risk. Okay. Now, when the comparing two investment, we can see that one with the higher standard deviation has the higher risk. Okay, so later we need to compare. When we have high return, we also must look at the risk. We cannot have an investment with high return, high risk. Not to say we cannot have, definitely you will have, but it depends on the what? Choice of the investor. Okay, if the investor like to take risk, then you can go for what? High return with a higher risk. But our job as a financial manager, you know what is our job? We try to increase the what? Return with what? Lower risk. That is our job. Don't you just calculate to your boss and say that, oh, boss, this is the what? The investment that you're going to make. This is the return. But the return is high. The risk is also higher. The boss don't want that way. The boss want high return with what? Lower risk. So we have to make what? Second option, how to reduce the risk. So that's why we're going to learn this, how to reduce the risk. Now, factors in the choice of an investment. First, security. Investment should provide investors with an assurance that at least their capital value will be protected. Yes. Now, in the future, when you go for a work and you become a financial manager, the first thing boss will ask you, when I invest, do I will get back the capital or not? Profit will be the second thing. Okay, when you invest 20,000, for example, do you will get back the 20,000? That is the important part. Okay, always think, do you will get back the capital or not? Okay, how you want to protect your capital? Loss or profit, that is the second part. Okay, as long we get the what? Capital. That is the important one. Even for the business students, you become an owner one day, the only one thing you have to think about it is, do you will get back the capital? How to get back the capital? That is the important part. Okay, profit is the second thing. Understand? So later we will discuss how to protect the capital. Second, liquidity. This refers to how quickly an investment can be converted back to cash. Now you must think, when you want to invest in a certain business, you must think whether the business will give you the return as much as what? Fast as you can. Okay? If the return is slower, then it is not a good investment. Okay? But I'm not saying that is not a good investment. You must think, if it is the return is slower, you must think slower, but is that will give you with a high value, okay, high profit. Even though the return is lower, but it give you a high profit, then no problem, you still can go for it. But if the return is lower, but with a lower value of profit, then it is not what? Worth it. Are we okay? So you must think in that factor. Example, if I give you a manufacturing, table manufacturing, for example, if you want to invest in table manufacturing, do you think you can get back the cash quickly? It will take a longer time, am I right? Okay. Now, in this current financial crisis, in current economic situation, if you want to invest in manufacturing, you are the most stupidest person, right? Okay. You don't invest in manufacturing and then you wait for what, next 10 years to get back your cash. So you don't do that. So you have to think away what investment will give you a return in what, next few more months. Example. Okay. So can you think an investment which can give you the return in 2 or 3 months? Can you think the example? Huh? Go some more? Huh? Oil, but very high risk, right? Okay, some more? What else? This is more to what? Commodities. Let's think about any physical business investment. This is non-physical, right? You play forex. It's basically not physical, it's just virtual. How about a physical investment? If you want to open up a shop or maybe a company, what will be the business will give you a return in a few months? Service side, what kind? Online shopping, very good, some more. Come on, what kind of service we have? That's why you look at China right now. Why are they moving from manufacturing to service? Because current financial manufacturing, you cannot gain the cash quickly. Okay, it will take longer time. So that's why they're moving to service right now. Everyone, why are you going to open up Lazada, eBay? Now got a lot of shopping, right? Online shopping, Shopee.my. Okay, so a lot here. Okay, why they're moving towards that? Because that will what, give you fast return. Okay, so you have to think about what investment will give you fast return. Next, return, as defined earlier, the return is the financial gain an investor can obtain by making a financial investment. So you know what is return, right? Okay. Risk, this refers to the possibility that investor actual return will be different from expected return. So later we need to calculate what is our expected return. When you calculate, that is expected return. So later, after it's already incurred or already happened, then we have to compare our expected return with actual return. Okay, then we see what is the variance. You have learned variance in costing, adverse or what? Favorable. Yes. Okay, we will do that. Now, broker fees, these are the fees involved in buying and selling securities. Now, broker fees only involved if you pay forex or you buy shares, gold or something like that. Broker fee comes in. Other than that, no broker fees. Okay. Tax. How will the income from the security be taxed? Yes, not only securities, if you open up any business, definitely you will have a tax. So you have to think about the tax factor as well. But portfolio does not will think the tax factor. So you have to do it separately. Okay. So once you already calculate portfolio, guys, remember I got taught you the NPV and all that, remember last time? Okay. Once you calculate portfolio, if you think that investment is worth it, less risk with high return, then you convert into what? Investment appraisal. Then you calculate NPV. Because in NPV, you can include the what? Tax inflation in. That will give you a more precise answer whether the project will be profitable or not. Okay, that's why I use all the formulas here in the future. But you don't use it manually. Of course, you have a financial calculator. Now look at that. Diversification as a mean of reducing risk. So we have three type of correlation. Now if you still remember in the statistic we learned the correlation, regression, remember? Correlation, the long formula. Okay. I told you that that long formula is only for what? Up to what? Two variable, X and what? Y. Okay. And it can be only two business or two investment. But now, is that in the real world we have more only two business? Definitely we have more than two business, right? Two investment. Every people will invest like 5, 6, maybe you have 10 businesses, for example. So how you want to calculate in that kind of situation? You use what? Portfolio theory. Okay. Now this portfolio theory can calculate up to what? 10, 20, 30, how many businesses you can. You just increase the formula. Okay. Now we have a positive correlation, negative correlation in what? No correlation, still the same concept. I want you to recall back. Let me ask you a question. What is positive correlation? Last time I taught you, right? Positive correlation. What is mean by positive correlation? Simplified. Positive correlation. In statistics, I taught you about positive correlation. Yes, increase together, decrease together, right? If it is one investment goes up, another one also goes up at the same time. It follows. Okay. If it is go down, then it go down at the same time. Okay, parallel. In other words, that's called positive correlation. How about negative? Vice versa, right? One go up, another one comes down. Another one go up, another one comes down. Vice versa, against each other. Okay, it does not follow against each other. How about no correlation? Huh? It can be anything, in other words. Okay, it can go up, it can come down, it can go up at the same time, it can come down at the same time, or maybe no changes sometimes. You'll be stagnant. So it's difficult to predict, in other words. Okay, so which one has lower risk here? Positive, negative, or no correlation? Which one has less risk?
Negative.
definitely negative correlation. Okay, negative correlation has less risk. Positive, moderate correlation. No correlation, high risk. Am I right? Okay, because you can't predict what's going to happen. No correlation, high risk. So we try to get a negative correlation. We try to get, or maybe nearest to what? Zero. Okay, it's very difficult in practice, guys, to get a negative correlation. It's very difficult. Okay, but we try to get. We will try to lower the risk nearest to zero, but not like if you get a 0.8 or 0.9, that's worse. It's already what strong positive, right? If we try to get 0.3, 0.4, around that, we play around that, so that will reduce risk. Okay. Okay. Now, that's the formula, guys. Okay. Now I know it's look nasty, but that's the formula. But now in this formula, they start with also A and B. A and B means project A, project B, investment A, investment B. Only two. But the specialty of this formula is you can increase. Yes. Okay, you can increase. If it is more than, for example, if you have 3 investment, how you increase? A, B, and what? C. If you have 4 investment, A, B, C, D. So you're getting longer. Okay, let's see. So let's write down the formula first for portfolio. Now you can use capital A or A, whatever, small a letter, no problem, as long 8. Okay, that shows that investment 8. Or you can use 1 to 3 also can, not a problem. Follow the question, then you change. Okay, but normally the formula use A, B, C. It's easy. Okay, but normally what I will do is I'll follow the question. If they use A, I'll use A. If they use 1, 2, 3, then I'll use 1, 2, 3. I'll just change. Okay. Yeah, PRA.
The A is A.
Or whatever A also can.
Yeah, follow this number.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, same. Yeah. Okay, for example, if it is investment A, then RA mean, investment B is RB mean, investment C, RC mean, for example, just increase here. Okay. Hmm? CO? COVAV, yeah. Huh? COV, covariance. Yeah, short form, covariance. COV. Oops, sorry. Hmm? So basically, if you look at it, not actually, what's the difference here? You just increase the what, the A B C D, right? Okay, last one was AB, now it's CD. You just increase. Okay, but be careful with the, if you look at it, you have the 4, look at that, 4, right, in the bracket, 4 times the XA, XB, right, okay, if it is a 4 investment, you must put 4, if it is 2, put 2, 3, put 3, okay, but normally exam question, I will test 2 or either what, 4, straight, I will test 3 off, but in case maybe you're year 3 for the accounting students, okay, year 3, sometimes in the exam they might ask 3 investment, but very rare. I think different, but just put 3 lah. Only A, B, C. Now students will do a mistake on that part. They will still put 2. They will forget to put 3 or 4. That part they will do mistake. Okay? So now what is this all about? Okay? The RP or the RA mean or RB mean or whatever, it's called the expected return. Okay? In other words, we call as mean, right? Last time. Okay, the mean. Standard deviation A or standard deviation B or the P portfolio we call as standard deviation. In other words, the what? The risk. Okay, and you have there the proportion A, proportion B, and so on. Am I right? Okay, the XA, XB, that's called proportion. Proportion of investment. Proportion of investment means how many percent you invest. Maybe A 50%, B 50%, example. Or maybe A 60%, B what? 40%, example. That's the proportion. Percentage in other words. Okay? But why I put it percentage, I put it in what? What proportion means for? Decimal. Where got fraction? Day. Africa matter. Proportion, I taught in the stats last time, right? Remember? Okay. Okay, can you have a look on the question now? Exercise number 1, page 97. No page number in your book. Sorry, go and find. Okay, now look at that. Exercise number 1. A very basic question: how to start the portfolio. Okay. Accounting students, please do not forget this question, the topic that we're going to learn now, because you will use again in year 3 SFM. Okay, that will be more longer. They have a portfolio with a CAPM and all that, combined with everything. Okay. Okay, now look at that. A company is considering investment in one or both two securities and you are given the following information. So market conditions, boom, normal recession, you given a probability over there, 0.2, 0.5, 0.3. Return from investment, it's already given, okay, 10, 14, 20, 6, 15, and 11, okay. Now, required, what is the expected return and risk for each investment? B, what is the expected return and risk of portfolio consisting 50% investment A, 50% investment B? So first we need to calculate the risk and the return for each of the investment A and B. Then later we combine and see whether risk has reduced or not. Okay, so let's start. Hmm?
I see that. Probability.
Probability.
One.
Huh?
One.
Probability. The P is a probability.
Yeah. But total sure is one.
Huh?
If total sure is one.
No,
What is
no, you
one?
times it. Yeah? P times it RA. Total PRA together.
Uh,
Ah.
this time this and this time
Yeah. Lincoln Lab. Okay then? Okay. Very good. Exercise number 1, part A. So we're going to calculate for project A first. Okay. So how you start? MC. I put it in short form here. MC means market condition. Okay. Then probability. RA. What is mean by RA? Return. R means return, yeah. Okay. Return on investment A, project A. Huh? Probability. Okay. Then we're gonna have PRA, RA minus RA mean. Then we have PRA minus RA mean power of 2. So this is the working we have to do. So we have boom, normal, recession, BNR, Bank Negara Malaysia. Okay. Nah,
Negara Malaysia.
Bank Negara ni, no Malaysia. Okay. So BNR, probability is how much? 0.2, 0.5, 0.3. And what is the return here? 10, 14, 20, correct? Yeah. Now, what is mean by PRA? Probability times with what? Return, the RA. How much? Times and Z. Okay, totally get 50. So total PRA equivalent to what? RA mean. So that's your expected return, in other words. Okay, we already find the expected return. Remember, all this is percentage, yeah? So the 15 is actually 15%. Okay, remember. Yeah, it's all percentage. Everything is going to be percentage. 15%. Okay, but we don't use percentage lah, but it is percent, 15%. Okay. Now next, so we take next working is what? RA minus what? RA mean. So you take the RA, for example, 10 minus what? 15. How much you get? 14 minus 15, 20 minus 15. Yeah, negative. So here you get how much? Negative 5. Yeah. Negative 1, yeah. 5. Like that. Okay. Then what do? We go to the next working. We will keep these for later on. We have to use that working later on for covariance. We need that for covariance. That's why we do it now. Okay. Now this working is actually for what? Covariance later. So we need that. You look at the formula that I gave you. Yeah, it's there. So we need that. Now next. Next, what do you do? RA minus RA mean we already calculated, am I right? Power of 2. When you power of 2, negative, when you power of 2, it becomes what? Positive. So just ignore the negative lah. Okay, just put it in your mind. When you power of 2, it becomes positive, right? So just take 5 power of 2 times with what? Probability 0.2. How much you get? You already calculate. 5, how much then? 0.5. 7.5. Then you total up. How much you get? Then you get 13, am I right? Okay. Okay. Now, so what is your expected return? Which is your total PRA equivalent to what? RA mean, correct? So that will give you what? 15%. Okay, we already calculated that. So that comes here, 15%. Next, standard deviation. Total PRA minus RA mean power of 2 square root. That's a formula. Okay. So you get 3.61%. Then, so that's the return, this is the risk, remember. Okay. So that's for project A. Now let's do it for project B now. Oops, sorry. Now same thing, just change it to B. Just now it's A. 7 point 10 12. Hmm? So you should get 3.46. Now, which investment you should choose? If it is a single investment, A and B, which one you go for it? A or B? Huh? Why A? Then why B? It depends actually, in other words. Okay, it depends. We cannot say A, cannot say B because look at this. This is high return, low return. But this is what? Low risk. This is high risk. So which one you can go for? But it depends on the investor decision. End of the day. Okay. So the comment will be so that interesting project B. Now don't ever say it in the exam, remember that, yeah? Now it more to practical. Don't ever say that A is the better. Now you said A is the better because A is high risk. Unless you have a situation where high risk with a lower return, then we have a concrete reason. Definitely we go for that investment, but not in this situation. So was it? Okay. Now, next. Now let's go for the portfolio investment now. So the portfolio is going to be what? 50-50. Okay, 50%, 50% investment. So we start with the expected return first. Formula. So I think the first one result in 15% return times with 0.5. Last times with so once we combine, how much the combined expected return? Huh? No need, because I already changed 1 into a decimal. So you don't need to press percentage. You will get the same answer. I do it in shortcut. Easy. So you get 13.5%. Shivering.
Then it should be plugged in for variable, right?
Huh?
Plugged in for variable, right?
Yeah. But we list down the formula first.
Maybe it doesn't matter, right?
Yep. Next will be standard deviation, the risk. Okay. So we start with the working first, then we come back to the formula. Okay. That calculation is based in open Now we're going to copy and paste back whatever that we calculate just now, the RA minus RA mean and RB minus RB. We already calculated, right? So copy and paste back here. -5, -1, 5, -6, 3, -1. So copy and paste back. Now what we're going to do here is just times, times, times. Times, 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 times. How much you get? So just times 0.2 times -5 is much. So if you total up, you should get what? 3. No, don't put percentage. It is percentage, but we don't put percentage. We take it as a 3 lah, just and calculate. Okay, so we continue here. The calculation. 3 divided with standard deviation A and standard deviation B. So how much you get just now? Standard deviation A 3.61. Standard deviation B is 3.46. How much you get? So you get 0.24. Is it okay? Now let's start the longer one. So again, check, you get 2.78. Hmm? Yeah. Are you okay? Both okay? Now you can do it in another way also if you want to. You can skip the correlation coefficient. You know how? You just have to calculate the covariance, then you can use the covariance function to calculate. You don't need to do the correlation coefficient. You can skip that and get the answer, the same answer. How do you do it? Yep. Now, what is the formula for this? Covariance AB over standard deviation A, standard deviation B, am I right? In mathematics, if you want to cancel it off, you can cancel it off, am I right? So left what? change to what? Covariance AB. So you can cut short. You don't need to calculate. You need to use a longer calculation. A bit can cut short. Okay, because you already cancel it off. So if you use back the calculation, 3.61 squared times 0.5 squared times what? 3, you will get the same answer. Check and see, calculate and see, you get the same answer. So in the exam you can cut short, okay, but in certain situations. Some but in the exam sometimes they will give you the information. They will give you the what? The correlation coefficient. In that situation, can we cut short? You can't, because you don't have the information of what? Covariance. So you have to use the long formula. Okay? You look at the situation where you can cut short, you cut short. But you can't, then you can't do. Now, let's comment. So, is it the risk has reduced? How we know? No, we don't know yet. Let's do some small working here. Let's calculate the average. Okay, let's calculate the average. For return, okay, for return, okay, what we do, what is the return? 15% plus what? 12%. We divide 2, how much you get? And for risk, 3.61 plus 3.46 divide 2, how much you get? So I think here is 13.5%, right? So see, 3.53, 54.
Yeah, 3, 5, right?
Okay, 3.54. So if you get this, but according to portfolio, how much is that? Do we reduce the risk? Yes. Because if you look at your return, go back to your return. Return are the what? Same, 13.5%, but you are able to reduce the risk